Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Rewrite Your Story podcast. I had a different episode planned for today, but just given everything that's kind of going on in the world right now, um, surrounding kind of safety, specifically around the safety of women, I just really wanted to come on here and have a quick chat with you guys. So, yeah, I guess I'll stop rambling and we will get into the episode.
Hello, and welcome to the Rewrite Your Story podcast. If you are someone who is looking to take power back into your life and be in control of your destiny, then this is for you. This podcast was created to empower others by sharing the tools that have truly transformed my life. So sit back, relax, and let's start rewriting your story today.
So, yeah, as I mentioned, I'm sure a lot of you people know that the world's kind of exploding right now. No matter what city you're in, there's been a few major events that have happened, within the news, and it's also caused a lot of people to start speaking up, which is incredible. I commend those people for speaking up. There's been some people even recording videos of them being stalked or followed and things like that are getting addressed. And I just really want to commend those women for speaking up. It really brings attention to the fact that there's messed up shit going on in the world that we really need to address. Like, this is 2021. Like, how is this kind of stuff still happening? Why are women still seen as prey? It sucks. It really fucking sucks. But speaking up about stuff is the way we start to make change. I know a lot of you guys who've listened to my story, it's all well and good you saying this now, Amy, but you didn't at the time. And I do question myself on that one. I wonder what would have been different if I spoke up when those events happened in my life. But what matters is that I did speak up. I spoke up when I felt safe to do so. And I spoke up when I needed. Like, I couldn't carry on the way I was. Like, I had to speak up. If I didn't speak up in that moment, I don't think I'd still be on this earth. And that goes for, I guess, all of you out there too. Those who haven't spoke up yet, it's okay. You will when you're ready, and in whatever way that you feel is right. There's no rule book to this sort of stuff. I know you can feel pressured to speak up because of what's going on in the world right now. And if it feels right for you, do it. Go ahead. You got my full support. But if you don't feel safe to do so, you got to establish that safety. You got to make sure you're in a safe place. Now, when I say safety, I don't necessarily mean the walls around you. Now, that's important. You've got to be in a safe place to speak up. The last thing you want to do is cause yourself harm by the environment you're doing it in, or the people you're choosing to do it with. But when I talk about establishing safety, I also mean in here. Now, if any of you saw my Instagram story yesterday, I think it's probably still alive online now. It's safety comes across in a lot of ways. And I think when we want to be safe, first of all, we want to be safe with ourselves. Now, some of you might be like, huh, Amy, what are you talking about? Of course, I'm safe with myself. I'm not going to do anything to me, whatever. But then some of you might also be listening and go, yeah, I don't like being on my own. I don't like being by myself because I don't feel safe. That's when my mind spirals. That's when I question everything. That's when I get into a deep, dark place. That was me. And so many people I know. Now, how did I get to the point that I loved being on my own, that I loved being with my thoughts? It's a journey. It's a real, real journey. But we've got to love ourselves. We've got to feel safe with ourselves. Because if we can't feel safe with us, how do we know what safety really is? So let me get into this a bit deeper. From a really young age, we developed ways to protect ourselves, ways that kept us safe, whether that was because of trauma. You spoke up and spoke your truth, but then you were bullied for it, maybe even physically hurt. So your body was there to protect you, to say, don't do that. Don't speak up, because bad things will happen. And that's a protector that your body developed to look after you. But now, is it something that still serves you? And I want you to question that. I want you to look at those things that we've developed, those mindsets, those ways of thinking that we've developed that were there to protect us. Whether it's, I've got to dress like the other people of my gender or my age in school, or of the gender I identify with, because if I'm different, I get bullied. If I'm different, some kid might hurt me. If I'm different, people will say things about me and that hurts. So I'm going to develop a protector by conforming and being what society tells me to be, so I don't get singled out. So I don't get made to feel like shit. So I don't get made to feel like I'm worthless. But then who are you? A lot of the time when we live in those protectors, they warp our sense of who we are. I know for me anyway, that when I lived in my protectors for so long, I didn't know what thoughts were mine. I couldn't even go shopping for myself because I didn't know what I liked. I'd be in the mall and I'd look at a bunch of different tops, and I would just ask whoever I was with what they liked. And I went with it because I couldn't make that choice for me. I didn't know what thoughts were mine. I didn't know how I felt because I'd lived my whole life for other people. Because my protector was, do what others want so that you don't get forced to do it. So you don't get pain, physical pain to your body. It's better to just submit and say yes than stand up for what you believe in. Now, as an adult, where I have grown, did a hell of a lot of therapy, and my life started to get so much better, I realized that that protector, or those protectors that I developed, no longer serve me. Now, how did I realize that? Is that I observed those thoughts and emotions and asked if I identified with them anymore. Question them. Where does that come from? Why do I do that thing? Is that something that I want to do? Or is that something that somebody else has put on me? Is that something that society's put on me? And how do I feel about that? So if you missed that, feel free to jot it down. I probably should have warned you. I might have needed a notebook for this one. Maybe I'll re-add it in the intro. But when you do these things, ask yourself where it comes from. Why did I do that? Is that something that someone else has put on me? Society has put on me? Is it a protector? Is it something I did in the past that served me well but no longer has a purpose? And is that something I want to continue? How does doing this type of thing make me feel? There's a tactic that I picked up from Alison Stoner, and she calls it keep, toss, transform. Now, you can do this with so many different things, whether it's items of clothing, whether it's relationships. But the thing I want to focus on today is doing it with beliefs about yourself. Do you want to keep it, toss it, or transform it? So look at, for instance, what's one we can relate to? I'm sure most people can relate to not being good enough, right? So when I think about not being good enough, is it something that I truly believe about myself? Sometimes I think so. But where does it come from? Well, it comes from other people. It comes from being told I can't be myself, being told that I am not enough, being told that I have to do things that other people say. How does that make me feel? Well, that feels pretty shit. And is that something I want? Do I want to keep this? Do I want to toss it or do I want to transform it? Well, I definitely don't want to keep it, that's for sure. Do I toss it all together? Or do I want to transform it into something else? I'd say the phrase being not being good enough comes up a lot. So let's go the transforming realm. I am good enough. As long as I'm good enough for me, that's all that matters. Yeah, I like that one. Because at the end of the day, I'm not responsible for how other people think or feel. I'm not even responsible for what they do. So why should I let what they say impact me? And it's the same for you guys. Our minds are great at teaching us how to survive. But how cool would it be if we changed that and made the default thriving and happiness? Like, think about it. Your mind's 100% there to protect you. This is good. This is bad. Don't do this. I feel unsafe. This isn't a good feeling. What if we switch that? Now, I know some people listening may already be there, but I'd say it's quite common that the latter of us or the rest of us aren't. So how can we transform that? How can we transform our body's natural response of keeping us alive, survival, to making us happy? How us thriving? And it starts with getting into that intuition. Now, I know a lot of you will be like, Amy, I don't want to start opening up my feelings. I don't want to start jumping into those beliefs or feelings that I have because I don't know if I'm ready for what's going to come out. And that's okay. I feel like the timing, you'll know when the time's right. You will. But I just want to let you know that your pain won't kill you. You have lived through everything in your life up until now. Those areas of your life where you developed those limiting beliefs, you still made it through the other side. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. And how good would it be if you looked at those areas that caused you pain, caused trauma, caused you to not like yourself, and learned from them to the point that you're thankful you had them? Now, I know that sounds weird. Amy, you tell me you're thankful for all the shit that happened to you? Yeah, I am, because it has taught me so much. Like that phrase I just mentioned, life happens for you, not to you. So easy to say, oh, life keeps chucking all this shit my way. Why is the world so horrible? Oh, it's always me. I'm always the one that gets this. Blah, 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 blah. What if it was there to teach you something? What if you learned from it? I know for me, a big thing I learned, and I'm still learning, is that I need to get better with boundaries. I need to get better at protecting myself and putting myself first. You know, you might be around certain people or in certain situations that you know affect your energy in a negative way, make you feel unsafe, that anger you, but then you continually choose to put yourself into that situation. Why? Because you're worried about what somebody else might think. You don't want to upset somebody else. Do they matter more than you? Why don't you come first? I had my sister reach out to me a few months back for advice on something, and I was a little taken back by it. And she said to me, she was like, I was talking to Dad about this, and he said, reach out to Amy. I think she'll know what to do. And my friend Abby was there with me when I got the phone call. And honestly, I welled up. I was really emotional that my sister reached out to me for advice, because for so long, for a huge part of my life, I was the family fuck up. I was the one that shit was going down all the time. It would kind of be a common line of, oh yeah, of course, that's happening to Amy. Of course, Amy. And that was how life was when I lived for other people, when I put other people first. But the moment I changed that and I said no to the things that caused me stress, that caused me pain, to the people that caused me stress and pain, to the situations, to the words, to the mindset, once I started to course correct that and had the awareness of what those things were doing to me, my life changed to the point that my family stopped seeing me as the fuck up and actually came to me for advice. Sorry. It's true. You have one life. One. Don't waste it. And I know in some cases it's easier said than done. But there'll be a point, there'll be some point in your life where you're just like, enough's enough. I'm not doing this anymore. I don't choose this for me. I really hope that you don't have to get to the depths of where I was to make those choices. And hopefully, even just listening to this episode might be enough for some of you to say, yeah, I do need to be kinder to myself. I do need to put myself first. And it doesn't even have to be big things. Start with even just the language you use with yourself, rather than, oh, I'm such a fucking idiot. I'm so stupid. Blah, blah. How about you're not? Like I say, you have experienced everything in your life up until this point. There's things in your life that you've achieved that show intelligence. Intelligence isn't necessarily what's seen in a book. I know one of my limiting beliefs was I'm dumb because I'm not smart enough because I didn't finish my degree. But then so many people say to me, it's like, Amy, but you have sort of lived these things. You've experienced so much. That in itself is a wealth of knowledge that you couldn't get from any sort of degree. It's all about how you look at these things. Now, in some of the courses that I'm developing at the moment, once we go through them, we'll delve into limiting beliefs and we'll abolish those. Like, I know you're listening to me right now where I'm talking about these ways that you think and how they affect you, and maybe even the thought of being aware of them, for one, it sounds difficult, but completely getting rid of them, it's possible. And once I start launching these courses, we're going to get rid of them. We're going to do them together. And it's going to be incredible. Now, we'll go into it more once these courses are about, but I know some of you listening won't be ready to do this type of work, and that's totally okay. But I just want to let you know that there's nothing you need to do to feel safe. It's already within your body. You've just got to go into those parts of your body, those parts that have been wounded, those parts that are hurt, those parts where these limiting beliefs were developed, and ask them, what do you need? How can I love you more? If your friend's upset, someone you love's hurt, right away, it's, how can I protect you? What do you need? How can I support you? That's your homework for this week, is to ask yourself those questions. When you find your energy dipping, when you get pain in your body, rather than numbing it, whether that's alcohol, social media, whatever it is that you do to disconnect from that stuff, step away from that for a second. Let's not numb it. Let's feel it and fix it. Let's course correct those things. How can I love you more? What do you need? And now, if it's not an emotional pain and it's a physical pain, oh, my back hurts. Rather than jumping straight for the painkillers, what could I do? How did I think I did that? Oh, do I just need to stretch for a bit? Do I need to change my mattress? Do I need to change my shoes? Try to actually fix the problem rather than numb it and mask it. I used to use this analogy, I think like 2 years ago, with a few people that I'd support. And I was saying, if you're living in a high-rise building or apartment building or whatever, and there's a leak coming through your ceiling, and you see it's a big wet patch, and then it starts to drip and stuff. If you just keep replacing the plaster on the ceiling, it's going to temporarily be fixed for a day or two, a couple hours, but then it'll start leaking again. So let's crack the plaster open, check all the pipes, and find where the problem is and fix it at the root, so it doesn't continue. That cycle doesn't continue. I know it's a bit of a tougher homework this week, but I know you can do it. And especially this week, episode-wise, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Like I say, I've got a few courses that I'm developing right now, that's going to be delving into this. So getting your guys' feedback from even this episode, I can start to tweak little things in the course. I can add things to it as well. That what you guys need or what you want to explore a bit more. But I just want to let you know that you have the power to overcome these things already within you. And I don't know about you, but that's fucking cool. You don't need to go get a magic pill. You don't need to get this from somebody else. You have all of the tools, frameworks that you already need within you. I'm just someone that's going to help you reawaken them. But do your homework this week. Let me know what you think. And again, for any of you people out there that are speaking up about these things that are happening to you and other people you know, thank you. For those of you that haven't spoken up yet, it's perfectly okay. Your time will come in whatever shape or form that looks like, and that's totally fine. And for the rest of you, let's start cracking on some of those limiting beliefs. Let's start being safe with who we are. Because the more we tell society that we will conform to what they want, that's how things will just continue to be the way they are. And I don't know about you, but I want to change the world. And that starts right here. It starts with you. You know, people used to believe that one person couldn't change the world. Have you heard about a thing called COVID? I think that started with one person, okay? Now, I know, making light of a pretty serious topic, but it's true. Every possible change there is in this world starts at home. And this big shift that we need to make in society starts with you. So let's jump in and do it all together. And let's start rewriting our story. So that's enough of me for this week. We'll be getting back into the normal swing of things next week, but I just really needed to get this out of my chest today. So thank you all for listening. Stay safe. And good luck with starting your journey to getting to know you. Tune in next week. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Rewrite Your Story podcast. It would truly mean the world to me if you could subscribe and leave a review on whatever streaming platform you listen to this on. Leave a written review, a 5-star review. It truly helps to get this into the ears of those who really need to hear it. If you're not already a member of the Rewrite Your Story community, you can find us at rewriteyourstory.ca on Facebook, Instagram, and our website. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week. Bye.